Okay, hi friends. I'm Jackie and welcome to Jackie Stitches. And this is Flosstube number 3. And so welcome back if you've been here before and welcome to anyone that's new. So I wanted to just make a quick video before Christmas, and I actually have another video coming out next week too. But I just want to do a little quick one today just to talk about Jingle Ball and how much fun that was, and then also show a couple of my whips, and I have a finish. And so just want to chat with you about all that. So let's get started. Um, Jingle Ball was the first time that I had been to any kind of retreat, really, and it was a lot of fun. I didn't really get to participate too much until Sunday, but I set aside the whole day, basically from like 9 a.m. until about 8 p.m. And I did participate most of that time. And I really enjoyed going to the stitching lounges, and I just sort of was a lurker. I didn't turn on my camera, but it was fun to be in there. I mostly just went to the bigger ones where the designers were, so I didn't stand out in the small groups as the only person without their camera, which I went into a couple and that just felt a little bit weird. I just wasn't quite ready to do that. And but it was really fun being in the lounges with the designers and to hear them talk about their designs and just the interaction between the designers and all of us who were attending. And I really enjoyed the main ballroom content that they had created. I think I heard that there was about 8 hours of content, and I don't think I watched all 8 hours, but I did watch a lot of that, and I really enjoyed that. And I went to a couple of the meet and greets. I went to Primrose Cottage meet and greet, and um, hello, Liz Matthews. I think I went to hers, and Hands On Design, and I really did enjoy all of those. And so I definitely will go back to another one of those virtual events and already marked my calendar for the ones coming up next year. One thing I found out in Lindy Stitch's kind of recap or next day video is that those stitching lounges are actually open all the way until the beginning of January, or maybe just till the end of December. So I might actually just pop in there and sort of see what it's like with less pressure to turn on my camera and participate in that. So if you are going to any of those, let me know. And I went in there yesterday or the day before, I can't remember, and there were still 4 stitching lounges open, and there were a lot of people in those still. So um, anyway, let me know if you plan to do that and where you might be. So I wanted to say that the ticket was $15, I think, and it was worth to me the $15 just to have access to the patterns that are exclusive to Jingle Ball. And we, I there might have been more free patterns, but I think I got 4 free patterns. So that alone paid for that ticket. So, but I set a budget, but I did get several patterns, and so I will share those with you. So I recommend going to that. I am even more excited about going to an in-person retreat, hopefully in 2026. I know there are tons out there that I don't know about, so I'll look forward to finding out more about those. So let's get started, and I'll show you the patterns I picked up at Jingle Ball. Okay. As I'm watching back that intro, I'm noticing that there's a lot of cars going by. I don't normally film during the day, but I had a little bit of extra time today, so I thought I would squeeze it in. So anyway, you'll see all the FedEx trucks and the UPS trucks that go by my house multiple times a day, just like at your house, probably. Okay, the first pattern I purchased at Jingle Ball was, and this was the one, there were two that I was really excited about because I had seen the previews. Um, but this is one of the two that I was really excited about. And this one is called Robin's Christmas by Primrose Cottage. And I just think I love, I just love birds and any patterns that have birds. So I just thought that was really cute. I don't know if that's an exclusive. I don't actually know if any of the patterns I purchased except for one for sure. I know is an exclusive. So anyway, I thought that was really cute. And I really just like those Christmassy colors and the little robins. And this one is by Jeanette Douglas Designs, and it's called Christmas Pin Pillows. And these are really cute. And I think they're a lot smaller than I originally thought when I started looking at the patterns. Um, and then I heard her talking about them, maybe at Jingle Ball, that they're just fingertip size almost. And I don't think they're going to be as easy as I thought they might be. Um, I'm not really very good so far about still sort of a newbie stitcher, and I'm not really very good about looking at a pattern and judging whether it's going to be difficult or not. My finish that I'm going to show you today, I thought was going to be simple, and it ended up not being simple for me. So, not a really good judge of that. Maybe I don't know if I ever will be, but anyway, that one probably, those little pillows probably aren't going to be as easy for me as I originally thought, which is okay. And this one is the other pattern I was really excited about by Tiny Modernist, and it's called Jingle Ball Santa. And I just love the colors and this whole design. I love her designs anyway. And this one was the very first thing I purchased and went straight to her shop at Jingle Ball because I didn't want to miss out. And even though it's a PDF, so I don't think there was a limit on those anyway. But anyway, just love that. I love the frame it's in. I love everything about that one. And one of my whips is the other pattern I purchased, so I'll show you that in a little bit. But these were all the free patterns that I got. And this one is also from Tiny Modernist, and it's called Woodsy Wreath. And so I think if you have a Jingle Ball ticket and I don't know if you can go back into the shops. I don't think you can. I was going to say maybe you can go back and get these freebies if you didn't pick them up, but actually I don't think you can. So yeah, I thought that was cute. And this one is by Primrose Cottage, and it's called Snow Angel. And hands-on design. So I think I'm figuring out that my favorite designers are Primrose Cottage, Tiny Modernist, and hands-on design. This one is called Belle and Bow. And I thought that was cute. I really like those colors. And this was the just Lindy Stitches put this one out for Jingle Ball, and it's called Homebound. Yes. Again, really like these colors too. I seem to really like traditional Christmas colors, but also these. It feels retro when it's the pink and green. It feels like a retro Christmas to me, and I really like those colors too. And the one of my whips you'll see is more in those retro colors. Okay, so that's it for Jingle Ball. And this next item I just purchased, I had seen an old video from Lori Holt, and I think it was maybe at least a year old, and I was just watching videos in the last couple of weeks. And she had finished this, and I just loved it. And she was talking about heritage samplers. And I've been wanting to start a sampler, and so this one I chose to do in honor of my grandmother Nyla, and she's been gone, I don't know, at least probably 12 years now. But she was a quilter and she sewed and she was crafty and she lived in a big home. Most of my memories with her in this large home they had. So I thought this was perfect. This is October House Fiber Arts, and it's called Americana Blue. And all of those things on there really represent her very well. So up there where it says 23, I'm going to change that to 24 because that's the year she was born, and I'll put her initials there. And I just I really like this pattern. Now, I don't know how I'm going to feel about doing one color, so I think I'll just have to work on it a little at a time because I really do like brighter colors and I like switching things up. So this one will probably take me quite a long time. Um, but I just think it's going to be really beautiful. And hers, Lori Holt's it was just beautiful. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, that's perfect. Okay. Let's see. All right. So my whips, I have three whips. And the first one is the one I started on linen. And if you watch my other two videos, you know that this is something I've been wanting to do, but I know that I'm going to struggle with it, and I am struggling with it. And I find myself not wanting to work on it as much because it's more difficult for me. But it's called Hello Winter by Plum Street Samplers, and it's so pretty. And so I thought I wanted to do it on linen, and I am. And I'm not very, haven't gotten very far, but can we see that? So I have the cardinal and just the top part of the sheep done. But that cardinal alone took me a few hours. So I don't know. I'll see. I'll see. I'll keep trying, but I might just abandon it and start it over on Ada, which I really enjoy. So, and we have to enjoy what we're doing, right? My other whip that I've gotten pretty far, and this is what I worked on during Jingle Ball. I purchased it at Jingle Ball, and then I had enough in my stash and a piece of fabric, so I just went ahead and started it. This one is called Home for the Holidays by Hands On Design. And again, it's that, to me, more that retro Christmas colors. Um, but I really like them. And I am pretty far on this one. It's not ironed, of course, just came out of the hoop. But yeah, I'll probably finish home by the end of the week. And I might be able to get that house and those motifs done in the next few days too. So I'm going to make this into a pillow. I already have seen some cute Christmas fabric that I want to use, and I might also try to do some rickrack or some kind of trim, which I have not done yet. So stay tuned for that finish. And then my other whip is one you've seen before. This one's called Joy by Shakespeare's Peddler. And I've just gotten a little bit further on this one, but I think this one is going to be really pretty. Um, as I've been working on it, the colors have felt kind of blah to me, but as I'm looking at the pattern, there's brighter colors coming in, but they're still muted, so it's going to be a really pretty piece. And I'll put down in the description what fabrics I'm using because I forgot to tell you that. So I'll put that down there. And I have one cross stitch finish. And then I wanted to show you something that I did back in the 90s. And that was probably one of the first things that I, first stitching projects that I ever did. And it's embroidery. I'll show you that first. And there was a line of patterns, and I think they were called, I don't know who the designer was. I might look that up. And put it in the description. But I don't even know if you can get these patterns anymore. They were a line called, I think I'd done my best, and it was like primitive, needlework, which I was really into all that primitive stuff back then. I still like it, just not into it as much. But this one I think was probably called Frosty, and um, I think it probably came as a kit and with those came with those buttons. And it looks like I did this in 1999, right before my oldest son was born. And I think, if I remember right, you got the pattern and then you traced it onto the muslin and then embroidered. So I still put this up ever since 1999 at Christmas somewhere in my house, and I still like it. So I wanted to share that with you. I think it's really cute. So my FFO is called Gobbler's Autumn Parade, and I showed you that as a whip and maybe as a finish. I can't remember in my last video, but I got it framed and I just think it turned out really pretty. And when I say I got it framed, I mean I had this frame, so I just framed it. Um, so amateur job, but it still turned out pretty. I did not follow the colors in the pattern. I just used what I had in my stash. So, and I just think it turned out really pretty with the oranges and the burgundies and the browns. So I'll definitely be putting this up during the fall time each year. And that's also on an Aida, which I don't, I'll have to see what that one is, and I'll put that in the description too. So the designer of Gobbler's Autumn Parade is Needle Treasures Nook, and follow her on Instagram. And she had just started a like a contest called Stitch and Shine, I believe. And so she, when you post one of her finishes or one of your projects of her designs, I think you're supposed to put tag her or put Stitch and Shine or something. November was the first month she had done it, so everybody who posted actually ended up winning, and I won. And so I was able to choose one of her other patterns, and I chose the Festive Fox. I just I like anything with foxes in it, just like I like the birds. So I guess I like the critters. And I just think that's adorable. So I am looking forward to stitching that over the winter. And I was excited to win that. So I encourage you to take a look at her patterns and join in on that contest. And I think that is it for my projects. I have a lot of things I want to start in 2026, but I will save that for another video. And I have another video coming up next week for winter solstice, which is the December 21st. And so I have recorded, or I'm in the process of recording, a stitch with me and a little bit longer video for me anyway, of just some relaxing music and stories and just while I'm stitching. So I hope you'll watch out for that and join me on December 21st. I'm hoping to be available in the comments during that video in the evening. So anyway, hope you'll join me there, and thanks for joining today. And thanks for coming back if you're coming back from previous videos. I really do appreciate that. And I love interacting with you in the comments. So anyway, I will talk to you soon, and I hope to see you next week during that winter solstice video. So see you later.